search that question and we will discuss, and all other our friends, maybe it was helpful to them.
Repeat that question again.
Yeah, one application was hosted in the EC2 instance, okay,
Hmm.
and that was running very slow.
Okay.
So what is the solution as a DevOps engineer we need to do?
I think we can change the instance type from
Okay,
T2 micro to T2 large. Not sure about it because sometimes I face, so I used to do that.
okay.
Not sure but
Venkat, if that is live application and
Yeah,
if
it's a live application only.
yeah, and if there means there there may be many visitors uh,
Hmm.
visiting to same uh, getting from same instances, so there may be chances of getting slow if
Yeah.
there is more
At
traffic.
that time, they can use auto scaling, right?
Yeah, we can use auto scaling that time.
Yes, yes, yes.
If they use auto scaling, means the server will won't get down.
Hmm. But troubleshoot we need to do. Why it was slow?
We need to get the logs. Then only we can analyze.
No, Venkat, actually the thing is like first of all we have to check the load average of the server, like CPU utilization and everything we have to consider, and
Okay.
according to that we have to conclude that. Apart from that, we have to check the logs also. Sometimes uh, maybe some due to memory issues also it will be slow. So
Yeah.
in our organization what we will do is some developers will run some codes or any database activities they will run and they will go simply, so it
Hmm.
doesn't kill our in back end process. So at that point of time we will kill it actually. And sometimes also if you run if you run any application continuously, so it should be slow.
Okay.
Sometimes we have to restart our application also.
Yes, yes, yes. And I found some answer in
Yeah,
same
that is
same
the
like,
answer.
yeah. Okay. I was pasted the same into our chat box. So I think this is the correct answer. Sometimes CPU utilization of EC2 instance spikes, so that's the reason it was happened. And any questions?
See, if it, no. What I told is that is comes under the application side. Okay,
Hmm.
this is for the networking side actually.
No,
Like
application was hosted in the machine, so that's the reason the machine
mm,
is responsible for that one.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, I know.
previously we have the physical servers in our companies. Nowadays, the cloud means they hosting server and they rented some servers and they hosted their servers in Amazon Web Services or any like these kind of cloud services.
Yeah, it's okay. But coming to the application related issues, so we will check like this actually.
Yes,
Now,
yes, yes. I think it was a good answer. Yeah, we can share those answer to our interview person. Yeah. Mm, okay, and the most important real-time question is, what are the instances you are used in your previous project? So, like by practicing time, we using T2 micro, T1 micro like that. But in real-time scenario, some they are not using T2 or T1 like that. What are the instances you are used?
It's better depend on your requirement. If your requirement is high, then you can take high configuration instance.
Yeah, yes.
your requirement is low.
At least we need to discuss about like M1 or A1, M2 or something.
Yeah, but you can auto scale.
Hmm?
You can auto scale, then it will be create automatically. And if your load is exceed
Okay.
about 70%, it will create an new instance for that time. And if your load is down, then that instance will automatically remove.
Okay. Like if you want to say the answer, then
That
previously we used M1 and we used the auto scaling also. If the any requirement is
Yeah.
there, the size will be increased. So
Yes.
like that. Yeah, yeah. Fine, fine. Super. Any questions from your side?
Depends on the project. They will create the instance like compute optimization, memory optimization, like that.
Yeah, yes, but
Depends upon their
they asked
requirement. They use that.
our interviewer want to test our real time knowledge. So they asked like what are the instances you was asked you used and what are the Jenkins plugins you used. So some common plugins are there, but in we have theoretical knowledge. But if we want to say like crack the interview, they asked about real time scenarios, like what is the previous images you used. Like we need to remember something. Yes, all these
Yeah.
answers correct, but we need to say like M1 like there are hundreds of servers are there, maybe 150 200 servers are there. I can't say like that, like let us assume that answer is, I can say like that around 30 machines are M1 and maybe 20 machines are M2, like that we need to say.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, which you are asking which instances you have used in previous project, right?
Yes, yes, we
Yeah, Venkat, will go for the next question.
yeah, yes. I remember these questions only that I faced. So our friends, anyone can share their questions. We can discuss, and so we can easily face the interview.
Okay. We are discussing about EC2, right? And auto scaling process and all these things. And
Yes.
if anybody know like how we will configure the auto scaling process, where we will configure it? Do you have any idea? It is also one of the interview question. So if you have anybody know, we can discuss. Otherwise, I will explain. No problem.
Yeah, you explain about that.
Did you got my question? Anybody?
Yeah, yeah. Yes,
If
Chandrasekhar.
you don't answer correctly, only you explain.
Bro, your voice is breaking, bro. I'm really not able to hear it.
Hello.
You can you able to hear me? Hello.
Yeah, I found a document and I pasted the document into our comments box. Someone Radhika asked some questions. What if Docker container is restarting continuously? Do we need manual and introduction to continuous delivery deployment?
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, Siddiqui.
Yeah. Before that guy Chandrasekhar. Am I right? You only explain what's the exact answer of that about EC2 scaling.
Yeah, actually, in a load balancer, we have auto scaling groups will be there. So we will mention there how many servers we need, how much if how much CPU was increased to, so we have to create another server. So everything we can mention that auto scaling groups. Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you got my point.
Okay, okay, got it.
Yeah, in load balancer, we will have
Load
auto
balancer
scaling groups.
is the different icon
Yeah.
or service. Auto scaling group is another service.
Yes, yes. The instance
Yes.
is the running with state with Imagine EC2, and the Imagine machine image used to launch the instance must still exist, and the instance is not a member of another auto scaling group. That means we can arrange auto scaling groups separately. For one account, we can manage different auto scalings. The instance is launched into the availability zones depend
Suppose
on.
we are having an instance up, okay,
Hmm.
and we need to increase one more instance. If load increases, then we go and create a load balancer or auto scaling group. Okay, in that category, we click on auto scaling group, and what exactly we need to give command to the auto scaling group. What's the actual process?
The instances organized must scale. Okay, okay. Let me check. Attach instances. What is it?
It has some templates will be there. So according to their template, they will create.
Yeah, in AWS documentation, we can navigate the instances, and we need to select those instances, and we need to attach those instances into auto scaling group.
Then where exactly we need to attach the auto scaling group in VPC? Uh, where
No,
we need to define it
No,
exactly?
it should be the load balancer. We have in application load balancer. We have to mention it.
Oh,
We have auto scaling
that's what
groups
I'm
will be there.
that what I am asking. In which content we need to attach auto scaling group, or where we need to define that? That's what I'm asking.
See, in load balancer, we have an auto scaling groups will be there, and that auto scaling groups, we have a template. They will use some templates, and they will mention like how much CPU we have to. If it was increases, it will have to create a services, and we have to select the EC2 instance, which have to which we have to mention in the auto scaling process. It should be the templates will be there, so we cannot explain everything actually. So this is the overview of the auto scaling groups and auto scaling process actually.
so AWS Cloud Formation is also there for this solution. So
Let me interrupt you. First of all, we create VPC, then we create subnets, right?
yeah,
Then we create route table, or after that we create NAT gateway. Exactly.
no,
Then
it's
no, no,
depending on the requirement.
we no, no. Actually, I'm telling the hierarchy. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes, correct.
where we attach auto scaling group, that's I'm asking.
Okay, we need to actually these are different services. Okay, we need VPCs for like it's like a network type, and auto scaling is like service type. Okay, we need to when the instances is running, all these are like add-ons. VPCR. We are using the machines and auto scaling and automatic cloud formation, and these are extra add-ons for the Amazon Web Services for our flexibility.
Okay.
Yeah, in different scenarios, in real time, no one will going to be use all these services. but depending on the requirement, the instances they are using. So that's what I'm saying. In real time scenarios, everything was different. Yeah,
Okay,
and
okay,
yeah, I pasted some documents in our chat box. Please check it
okay.
once.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And Radhika asked one question about Grafana and Prometheus. Are they useful? Those are monitoring systems. Actually, AWS CloudWatch is also there. Radhika, are you there? AWS CloudWatch is also there. So these are like
Yes.
yeah, some uh,
Is
monitoring
it
tool.
like why they are used and are they useful?
Yeah, they useful in different situations. In my organization, we are not using Grafana and Prometheus, but in some organizations they use these tools and they configure their instances to these monitoring tools. So they always watch the performance of the systems and performance of that our instances, and if any error was occurred, they was configured with Jenkins, and we got mail notifications. If any server was down, if anything happens, then we got some notifications, and we can estimate all the load average, and everything was monitored, and we got the output for that.
Okay.
And another question, Jenkins disadvantages means I also don't know. Nowadays, Jenkins,
Disadvantages. Yeah.
yeah, disadvantages means actually every application has separate capacity, so there is no disadvantage for that. If anyone
It's
asks,
like they ask if you face any issue with the Jenkins, or if you feel this is lacking in Jenkins, or like that they ask like disadvantages and where we should not use like that. I mean some shortcomings of Jenkins. This you can't do there like that.
hmm, uh,
The basic
I
quality
also
of
was
Jenkins, if they are not Java based project, we can't use Jenkins. First point.
no,
okay.
no.
Yeah. This.
In my current
I
organization,
mean,
that is Pega application, and we are using Jenkins.
Okay.
No, actually, Jenkins will use for any application.
Yes, it's just
It's a plugin based. It's a plugin based deployment tool actually. So if you want to work with a Java application, we can use the Jenkins plugin, like Java plugin. If you want to install with a Python, so we can use Python plugin. It
Python
should be
plugin, yes.
yeah, it should be depends upon it should work for the everything, but we have to install the dependent plugin actually here.
Okay, okay.
and it's a open source and it's free also. Maybe recent time IBM was developed urban code same as Jenkins. Okay, and code fresh is also best alternate for Jenkins. Okay,
Yeah,
remember.
no, Team City will be there, and so many tools will be there actually.
Yes, but from IBM means it's a
Yes,
some
yes.
standards was there. That is urban code. One of my friend suggested me to learn the urban code. So if anyone asked, Jenkins is a little bit outdated, but some new technologies, even Bamboo was outdated. So some new technologies were there. So we can their user interface is more better than Jenkins, like we can say.
which one?
Urban code and code fresh. IBM's Urban Code, and I don't know Code Fresh, but one of my friend is using Code Fresh. He's from Cognizant.
Also, like in GitLab, also we can create those CI/CD pipelines, right? In GitLab is there something.
GitLab is only for storing the code.
No, that
See,
is GitHub.
GitLab
That is
CI
GitHub.
is there, I guess.
Yeah,
In GitLab also, na?
GitHub is
Git
different and GitLab is different.
no, actually Git is used for the version control. Okay, CI continuous integration we will do. Okay,
Okay.
No, no,
code
I'm
integration.
talking about
She's
GitLab.
saying we can use GitLab also an alternate for Jenkins. Yeah.
Yeah, so yes, so the comparison between two because I don't know about GitLab,
No,
but
actually,
I
see, Venkat and Radhika, GitLab is different and Jenkins is different. Okay, GitLab GitLab is like it should be like if you are using the small companies, they will use the GitLab to store their code actually. That is so it should be the we will use for the internal organization, that is GitLab. If you keep the code into the public repository, that paid version, that is the GitHub actually.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
completely GitLab is different and Jenkins is different. Jenkins is it's a continuous daily deployment tool actually. So we can by using the Jenkins we can integrate with the Maven, we can integrate with the Git, and we can
No,
take the
like
code from.
I was talking about creating only branches. So there also we can create this CI/CD in that
No,
perspective.
no, from the GitLab we cannot create it actually. Yes, I know. We did it. We are unable. We didn't able to create. We don't have an option.
Okay. And yeah, this like, do we need the manual intervention in continuous delivery or deployment? Is there any manual process that we need to do, or can we do the manual process there?
I didn't get you actually. Can you please repeat it if you don't mind?
I had added in the chat box the question.
Mm. And difference between continuous delivery and continuous deployment.
Differences between continuous delivery and
We need manual intervention.
Yeah, above that.
Yeah.
do we need manual intervention in continuous delivery or deployment? Yeah, once we automated the code, if any error was occurred, then we need to solve it manually.
No, not that is not a correct way actually.
Okay.
So that is the automation, right? If any issues will be there, we can go to manually and we cannot do it actually. We can do it from automation only. So
Yeah, we
the
can
thing
do
is like,
automation until unless there is any error, then we need to do. Otherwise, everything was
mm,
automated now.
yes.
So she's asking about, do we need manual intervention? No, we need to
No,
observe.
that
No, I
yes,
mean, like,
yes.
can we do? That's what the
Yeah,
question is.
we can do, but it should be depends upon any issue with the pipeline or anything only. Then only we can do it in the manual way. If it was concerned with the code issues or anything, so we can go with developers or testers. So it should be the process will be there for every company. So we have to follow that way, that one only. So for your question, answer is yes. If it was concerned as the pipeline or any human related error, so we can go for it. So for example, if you did any mistake in the pipeline, or if you concerned as a continuous delivery, continuous deployments, if you are working with any Ansible playbook, so if any issues will be there, so we have to do manually only. So at that point of time, it should be involved in manual work also. I think. Sorry, I'm in the library. I can't.
In continuous deployment, everything is automated as per my knowledge, and in continuous delivery, there will be some manual process from staging to production area.
No, continuous deployment. It should be if you are doing from the playbook actually. So Ansible playbook, we have to involve the manually also. There also we have a case actually. If it comes under the Jenkins, it should be the manual. It should be the automation only. That's why I mentioned the application Ansible also.
Chandrasekhar, can you please explain the difference between the continuous deployment and delivery? I'm getting confused with both the terms.
Yeah, continuous delivery means like we have an in our organization we have a environments will be there, right? So if we have a dev environment, QA environment, and UAT environment, production. It should be the five environments will be there normally. Otherwise, we have a dev and staging and production environment. It should be like that. Three or five environments will be there. So if you have done with the dev environment, it should be go with the production QA environment. After that, UAT environment. Like it should deploy and it will do the test cases actually internally. Like we will write a playbooks, right? So it will go for the one by one. If it was completed, it will go for the one by one. So that means we are going the environment by environment actually. So that is continuous delivery. Normally what it will do normally, previously in a we will install one in one point. If we are go with any deployments, we will do manually, right? So after that testers will do some test cases, they will run some test cases. After everything working fine, so they will go for the higher environment, that is yet. It should be like that. So to avoiding that, so we are writing the playbooks, and we are going for the alternative one by one. We will go for the deployments actually.
Okay,
Radhika, did you understand? I think.
yeah, yeah. And the delivery deployment, as you said, that stage by stage. Suppose it is the Q
Yeah,
environment, dev environment, different stages it will be passing. And the delivery, continuous delivery.
that is means delivery only. Deployments means, so we are going to release the application, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that is the delivery. That is the deployment
Okay.
actually. After releasing that is comes under the deployment. And before that, like we are going for the uh, we'll go for the every environment. That is that is delivery actually.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, anything is there, like otherwise we can wrap up the call.
How many ways are there to create similar user like EC2 user having sudo or permissions?
I didn't get you exactly. If you don't make any, please repeat it.
How to create similar user who can log in into instance? Like whenever we create new EC2 instance,
Mm-hmm.
we'll, we SSS using EC2 instance, right?
Mm.
So how to create same user without password we can access it.
You want to create,
Actually, yeah, please carry on.
yeah, I think you want to create same image and same configuration.
No, user. I am talking about user.
User,
Yeah, yeah.
user
This question is regarding Linux.
Linux. Okay,
Yes. How to
please.
create similar user like EC2 user.
EC2 user.
Yeah.
See if it
What
was comes
permissions
under
EC2 user have?
see if it was comes under the Linux, why EC2 comes into the picture? Actually, I didn't understand exactly.
I'm talking about whatever permission EC2 users have. Means I know the answer. We can create new Linux user and move into
Okay, I
main
think
group
I'll tell
or
you
add
what
into sudo
what
root.
EC2 instance user can do.
Yeah.
See, simply we can create a user under the EC2. So we can able to access all the files and he get all the permissions like you should, and we can add into the sudo's file, so we can give the exact like who has what the permissions have the ec2 instance. I think
Yeah,
that is the answer.
yeah, that's what I am. Sudoers, and we can even move that newly created user into wheel group. That both are same.
Hello, Param.
Yes,
Yeah, is that done? Is that
yes.
question was extended?
No, no, no. Yes, finish.
Okay, okay, okay. I think I want to share my now. Every Amazon account has identity access management is there. That is the root user. If we went to any organization by using that identity access management, they will create our limits. Like if you want any instances, then in real time scenarios you are unable to create that instance. We need to raise the request, and then only we can create the instance. uh, just I'm explaining as per my knowledge only. And if you want to delete the instance, then you are unable to delete that instance. You need to raise the request, and in some organizations there is this separate stream for this aws services or any cloud services. As a DevOps engineer, just we need to manage our environment only. If you want any images or if you want any servers, then we need to raise the request to another person, and they will give machines to us. And all this was documented, and when the project was started, the architecture was completely create one blueprint for this. And if you need, if you want Amazon machine image, the entire configuration was there. So if you want to deploy, you can go to GitHub, and there was complete code was there. You can copy that and you can run it. Yes. And there is another
Yes.
questions.
You were talking about IAM roles, right?
Yeah, identity access management rules.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is difference between authentication and authorization?
Authentication means there's an access ID password. We need to, if you want to enter the ID or password, this is the authentication.
Yeah.
Uh, Second one is authorization. Authorization means root user, the person who have all the access to the like owner of that account. So
Yeah.
if I have authorization, then I can edit your authentication. I can delete you or I can add you, and I can delete another person, and then I can add another person. Okay, I can create the authentication by using my admin powers.
Right. Right. This was interview question.
Yeah, yeah, yes, we need to discuss all these things, because no, if we discuss, then our friends will know it. And yeah, Radhika pasted two questions. Have you faced any issues on project and how you resolved it? Yeah, yeah, this was the biggest question, and everyone facing it. So we need to work on
Basic
this
things we
question.
can, yeah, basic things we can explain, but not like the specific
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm
bigger
saying.
issues. Because
Yes.
we can't say the pod failed
Mm.
and the container failed, or some issues with branching. We can't say all these things. I believe we need to say like something is big happened and we recovered or we
Yeah,
utilized some resources. Also, the second one, like
you
because
design
like what
CI/CD
I
pipeline or you
yeah.
only managed it. As a junior DevOps engineer, we can say that we only managed it. There was a blueprint, so I was managed with that one. And if
Hello,
any,
hi Venkat.
Yeah.
Is this Nikiri?
Sorry.
But
Yeah.
can we say here that we have created these pipelines for our own projects? Like we have some sample projects with us for the practice, and we create like
No,
we
no,
can
no.
create
We
this.
can't say about you need. You don't say anything about practice. Just there was a blueprint was there. Sometimes we edited that, and if any small was there, then we can create as 100 lines or something like that. There is another problem with the declarative or scripted pipeline did you used. So we need to prepare for that also. And one of my friend, I was asked, he run around 100 lines of code. Yeah, maybe once there was a requirement about small code, I was writing about 100 lines code. I copied that code and I was edited it, then it was worked. So at that time that job was done, we can say that. As a
Okay.
3 years or 4 years engineer, uh, we can't say I know everything. We can say I need to manage everything and I can manage everything. Just I'm sharing.
No, no, like nowadays, if he was a 2 years guy or 3 years of DevOps experience,
Mm.
they are asking for the pipelines also. Okay.
Yes, yes.
My best suggestion was like if you go with a Google or GitHub, and you will get a some sample pipelines actually. So
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I was
yeah,
Yeah.
saying.
we can refer it, and like everything should be like, first of all we have to we will get the code from the Git, by using the Maven. So
Mm.
in that Maven only we will give the Git repository details and user details, like username, like it should be like usernames, and we will get the code and we will keep it into the Maven repository. Okay.
Mm.
We have some process will be there actually. So if you are able to explain the process, so they will okay actually. They cannot write, they cannot ask to write every whole pipeline. Okay.
Yes,
If
yes,
they
yes.
know the structure, they are also okay. See,
It will.
I strongly believe any company they won't ask for the write a new pipeline. Okay, if it was a development, if it was under developing project only, they will ask. Otherwise, just they will
No.
ask to maintain the existing application. They will take the templates and they will ask to change the like EC2 instances or anything, whatever it may be. So they ask to create a pipeline. That's what it will do.
Yes, yes. We got everything was in a blueprint. So that's what I'm saying. I took the pipeline from there and I was edited it, and that was working at that time.
Yeah, that's what. If you want to learn any pipeline, so you can go with first of all you can go with the DSL jobs, and after that,
Yes, and
yeah, and coming to the pipelines also, we have two pipelines, as Venkat said, like declarative pipelines and scripted pipelines.
yeah.
Okay. So we have to know the like what is the difference between scripted and declarative.
Yes.
So coming to it should be like that. So how they will use the stages in the every pipeline. So
So
it has some structure will be there. If you know the structure, you can handle it, no problem in interview also.
we note down this question, and tomorrow or today night, if you know any DevOps friend, you can call him, and yeah, what are the pipelines she was used and what is the requirement for that, and at that time which pipeline, declarative or scripted pipeline was used. So we can ask them, and I also know some friends, I will ask them, and tomorrow I will share their representation. So you also please ask your friends, and tomorrow we will discuss about this. Is that okay with you?
Also share question in a group. It's better for all.
Yeah, Radhika, if build was failed, we will check the logs from the console itself. Okay. In the job
Yes.
itself, we have a console will be there. We have to check the logs, and it will let you know like what is the exact issue. So we have to check the logs actually. So by using that we can find out it should be the it stopped in the building stage, or it should be stopped in the application stage, so it should be there. So we according to that we have to proceed that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I said. Yeah.
So
And Radhika, if anybody want to learn pipelines actually, so I will strongly suggest, like, first of all, you can make into the pieces actually. So first of all, you can learn how to connect with the Maven and how to get the code. Okay, and after that, we will have some we have to build the code, and we have to compile the code, and after that we have to build the code, and we have to do some test cases. If it was a like sonar cubes will be there, so every part will be there. After that, sometimes we have to take the docker file, and we have to create an image, and after that we have to create a docker container. So how it will work, and after that we have built the code, right? So we have to keep in artifactory. So how it should be, it should be like, so you can keep the pieces in, and you can do some homework, and it should be better actually.
Okay. Yeah, so the question was actually like, is it in our scope? Like, if we have 4 years experience, so this is in our scope to create it or manage it, because we can't say like 8 years experience we have design everything like that, because we can explain how to design and what we can do. Like, we can search how to design this
yeah,
pipeline. We
Yeah,
can do on
yeah,
how to.
Radhika, I strongly suggest, like, it should be depends upon the project actually. How many time team size you have, it should be depends upon all these aspects actually. So if you have a 2 3 people, we have to do everything, right? If you have a 10 people, so senior people will take care about it, and you will just maintain it actually. That is the process actually.
yeah, yes, Chandrasekhar.
One more thing I want to tell you, like it's even 1 year experience or 3 year experience doesn't matter. When you are working with the organization, it's based on the requirement. So sometimes they will ask you to write a code. Sometimes they will allow you to just to monitor the code or just fix the issues and all. But it's
Yes,
better
yes,
to have a pipeline knowledge because it's a basic thing in DevOps. Without that, DevOps doesn't work, I can say, because pipeline is not necessary like always you need to go to the Maven or something like that. It is just like initially from the source code, wherever it is, it's a GitLab, GitHub, whatever it may be. You have whenever the developers or somebody will deliver the code or change to the GitHub or GitLab, it has to trigger to the Jenkins to for the CA pipeline. So, which means like you can have multiple approaches for the Jenkins pipeline to trigger the job, like using some scripting also by connecting to the Jenkins API, or else having some internal connectivity. That there is a like pull request you can configure. All these things you can do. This is just a simple configurations you can do in a Jenkins and with a GitHub API. That also plugins you need to install in the Jenkins. Otherwise it won't work. That is a first step. Once you pull the code, and it is a stage like you need to build it. So before that, you need to have a couple of stages for setting the build environment. So without build environment, you can't build it. So you have to consider that also, like having you need a servers to build the code, or else you need some other infrastructure, whatever is needed. So you need to like configuring the environment variables. All these things you have to consider. So all these things, like step by step, you need to handle in a pipeline. So pipeline is like declarative or non-declarative. Basically, like previously, like we were using a scripted pipelines. That now more people are using now scripted pipelines. Scripted like basically like scripting everything. Whereas nowadays we have a lot of features available in Jenkins, so they are giving a lot of libraries, everything. So we are using going with a declarative pipelines. It's quite easy, and also you can write your own class files, you can write your own libraries, and you can call those libraries in pipeline. And this how actually you need to manage the pipeline. So don't consider like too much like writing classes or libraries, all these things. It's very simple definition also you can store into the some library, and you can configure that library inside Jenkins build libraries, and there you can call inside your pipeline script, or else you just enable that tick in the Jenkins configuration GUI, so that it will allow those libraries and those functions for the whatever you have you're using the pipelines. So pipelines is like just stages, pipeline and stages, stage, steps, and inside you can write a script or you can use shell or whatever it may be. It's up to your choice. But this is quite simple if you have basic knowledge. I'm talking about. It's not about extensive knowledge, just a basic knowledge. How like even it's like English actually. Scripting, then it is quite easy for you to for a Jenkins pipeline. Just go with the pipelines, simple pipelines, creating 2 stages, 3 stages like that, and then it will be easier for you. But it is 100% necessary for the DevOps engineer to work with any corporate companies. Otherwise, it's so difficult to tackle in future. Like even it's not about interviews; it's all about your work. So once you get into the job, then again you have to struggle. So you need to. There's a couple of plugins. So I'm using Build Ocean in Jenkins. You can use some other plugins and write a Groovy script for a pipeline or else Jenkins file. The same only, similar syntax, everything that will work. Yeah, you can ask me anything now.
Groovy script we can use instead of Terraform.
Yeah, Groovy script is same as a Jenkins file. Jenkins file, we are not giving an extension, whereas Groovy script we are giving extension. It is very similar. There is no difference. So I'm giving a dot Groovy as extension because I used to Groovy scripting. So that is also a declarative statement. It's not a scripted, but that Jenkins will accept dot Groovy or Jenkins file whatever you send. And when you work on extensively on these pipelines, you will come across like where you are deploying the Jenkins. So it is not necessary to have a on-premises Jenkins. So it is depends on the requirement. And so I am using like on-premises as well as the Docker container. Whenever I want, I will spin up the container. Like my job itself, spin up the like on-premises job will spin up the another container, and it will work. And there is another concept of Docker in Docker. So you can have a Jenkins in a Docker, and again that inside you can have a agent as a Docker agent, and that also is a nice concept. So if you can have any time, you just look after that. So this is how like these are all comes when you have experience of 7 years or 6 years. When it is only you have experience of 2 3 years, then at least basic pipeline knowledge is required. Basic pipeline, like uh, just I can tell you in verbally, like it's just pipeline. There's a one name, then use a braces, curly braces, and write stages, and then stage and steps, and with that you can have some step what to do, like echo if you want. See example sh in that double quotes you print like echo, this is my first stage, and then again close that and go to another in the stage next to another stage 2. Inside you put some stage 2 and then you write echo, this is second stage, and close that and just run the that is you can save as a Groovy or Jenkins file. In the Jenkins job, use the pipeline job, select the pipeline, and give a reference to the GitHub where you are storing that Groovy script in a branch, and that modern branch approach is there. You pass the credentials to that in a Jenkins by job only, and run the job. Basically, first job will fail because it doesn't have a cache of it, and stop it. And again, second job, it is having a cache of the Jenkins file. There it will environment means like you're using a Maven or you're using some make file system or whatever that require maybe Java environment or something like that. You can set up the Java environment, Maven environment, everything in a Jenkins configure system section. However, if you want some other environments for your build job, you can specify the environment. For example, if you're using a Terraform file, you can tf underscore some variables you can pass there in a Jenkins shop. Then in the build, it will pick up those variables for your job, it will work. That is environment setup. And options, there is another one of section there. So you can pass the environment or credentials, whatever. So there is a with credential sections where you can pass the credentials stored inside the Jenkins to any of your stages. This is basically three kind of things you can pass: options, parameters, and environments for a Jenkins pipeline. And in a stages, you can use all those things and you can run the stages. Yep, and we talk about all pipeline, almost complete pipeline.
Yeah, can you please tell me about the Terraform briefly?
Terraform.
Terraform. What is Terraform? Why is it used? Where it is used? What is
Terraform
it
is
used?
basically basically a tool used to spin up the. I'm telling a layman language. It spin up any of your infrastructure. Basically, like I can talk about if you want any AWS instance, if you want load balancer, if you want auto scaling group, if you want any ODVSP, means like vSphere machines using that is also having hypervisor. All these kind of like for ODSP like vSphere, we have a hypervisor called VR
Okay, thank
Thank you.
okay, thank you. Bye. Bye.